I think that this is one of the largest roundtables I have seen in long years, but it is really quite informative. In my opinion, just to contribute into the question, in my vision is that first, the urbanization is something, of course, that will be spreading out the populated density into rural areas where it makes the services more I would say, reachable and accessible to the big population and dense countries like India. And of course, with the urbanization, it goes with the infrastructure expansions, and that will requires all the copper and the steel and aluminum, and you know it, what goes with the mega cities. And that I will not dwell more into the details of that, but I would also say that what is also required is to keep the infrastructure available and convenient within the existing developed cities which are already inhabited. And for that, it does require the proper city planning. And by that, I would say that as, for example, if we come into the dense cities, which we have, I mean, I've come to India since '87. And I have seen the Nariman point. For you to travel from one point to another one, it takes you such a long time that you have to really plan ahead of time for it. And if some city planning will be done to where some of the reclaimed land could be done to expand the existing bottleneck roads, and that will need some of the city planning and maybe traffic designing and so forth. And with that, we'll be able to accommodate the movement and the transportation system within the dense cities. At the same time, mentioning the subsidies, I'll come to this later, but then we have to boost the consumer confidence. Basically, that's a major indicator. If you have consumers' power, consumer confidence, you're sure that your products will sell domestically, and that is something to be encouraged in what sense? If I facilitate the financial sector, if I facilitate to the average citizen the proper subsidy that it has to be distributed to create more of middle class. Okay, we do have quite a distance now between the three classes, and if I make more of middle class and I facilitate that with more of the services financially, subsidy-wise, then I could end up in having the average citizen can buy more luxury car than the basic car. That will consume more copper, more metals, and that will be quite a booster, as well as other appliances and so forth, and you have it. At the same time, I will say to make the product more affordable. To make the product more affordable, I don't want to come into the taxation part. That's more of a regulatory issue, which I will not be able to add value to it. However, if I will see that I encourage the cheaper and more affordable raw material to come into the manufacturing line, by that, I'm a recycling guy, and my background is recycling. I will boost and encourage recycling to where, if that is doable. Why not to make a big recycling zone, and those authorized companies who are qualified within the criteria get a special subsidy, special treatment, special tax advantage. Let them come out of those doldrums and not really try to do things behind the scenes. Come out in front, show your books, and we have to support them because they save us energy. If I come to the aluminum manufacturing alone, and if I realize that at least 30% of the cost of the aluminum per ton goes into the energy component of the cost fact, if I save that by doing 5% energy consumption rather than 95%, I don't have to go into struggle to make my product more affordable. Last but not least, I will say that the taxation part, as Rahil Sab here mentioned, that if we look into the zero percentage or abolishing the import tax on the scrap, that is one way which can really make a lot of difference in the maybe months